Meantime, let's bring in Fox News contributor and former FBI special agent Nicole Parker. Nicole, I kind of asked the same question to Joe Cardinale because I'm fascinated, but to have your insight in this. You get into school, what are you looking? What are key things that you're looking for, Nicole, when you one, look at the police response, and two, for the shooter, potential motives, and what was going on there at the time?
Right. It's obviously a very complex situation, but again, law enforcement is immediately going into the school, stopping the killing, stopping the dying. That is exactly what they did. This individual, from what we understand, may have committed suicide. Maybe it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Maybe it was someone, a school resource officer. We don't know that yet. But they have done a phenomenal job so far, based on my understanding, in getting in there and providing medical aid to those that were injured and getting them to hospitals as quickly as possible. And again, we talk about how, hey, you know, it went from, they originally said it was 3, and then it went to 5, and then it went to 3. But Trace, that's an exact feeling for how it is at these crime scenes, because it is so chaotic and it is so fluid. And like I mentioned earlier, it is so important to slow down the pace, stay calm, and to get the facts right and to get them accurate. And that's why they are so careful before they do any death notifications to the families. They want to make sure that it's done properly, everything is in order, and that those families are notified with sympathy, with empathy, and with care. And so, thank goodness, the number has been lowered to 2 victims. But again, as a law enforcement officer, there are individuals inside that school right now. They have swept the school. They're going to go through the parking lot. They brought in dogs, you know, people checking to see if there are any other explosives, things of that nature on the campus to make sure it is rendered safe. But in the meantime, the reunification center is going on at that location. Law enforcement, I guarantee you, is interviewing witnesses before they're letting these individuals leave. Tragically, a lot of these students, some of them probably saw what happened right before their eyes, and that is so important to law enforcement to have that firsthand witness and account. They will be interviewing those students and others that were witnesses to what actually occurred. That is extremely powerful evidence, and they will be going in. I know with the FBI, we oftentimes send in our evidence response team, known as ERT. We assist with school shootings many, many times. And they will go in and they will process the crime scene with the locals if they are requested. They'll go through every single piece and shred of evidence, and they will literally reconstruct the crime scene and make sure that everything is rock solid. In this instance, if there is only one shooter and the shooter is dead, obviously the shooter is not going to trial, but it is so important for law enforcement to, again, get in there and delve and understand, who was this person? What is their profile? What was their motive? And they are going to be executing search warrants at the home. They're going to be looking for physical evidence in their home. They're going to be interviewing parents, loved ones, siblings, classmates, people that knew this individual. But very important in this day and age, like many of us have spoken about, the digital footprint. It is so usually quite extensive what law enforcement is going to have to go through and look through one by one each piece of evidence and artifact to determine what led this individual to this pathway of violence. What was their grievance? What was the precipitating stressor where they said, today is the day I am going to do this? And that's so important to look at. You know, it was right before the holidays. The timing is not a coincidence. The timing is not a coincidence. They wanted this done before the Christmas break.
It's just heartbreaking. Here we are just 9 days from Christmas. And Nicole, also the chief saying earlier in his statement, every person in that building is a victim. Obviously, some of them were eyewitnesses to the actual heinous crime that played out there this morning. But there were going to be kids, some of them very young, who saw this, heard this happen, ran from it. And that will live on in their lives. Nicole, thank you very much for joining us through the breaking news.